Ancestry, the best DNA test for finding relatives. With a database of 6 million samples, Ancestry is the biggest DNA testing site by far. If you're only interested in uncovering your geographical heritage, that may not matter, but if you want to track down relatives, it could make all the difference. It's also a great way to build your family tree. You don't need to do the DNA test for this, but if you do, the site will give you access to people who share your genetic code, with options to contact them and share your bit of the tree. Family tree building is simple and rewarding, and the site does this part of its job very well. If you enter a name with dates, it will often suggest who you're going to add next, with corresponding local records to prove it. The one downside is that this can quickly become expensive. You'll need a subscription to link results to your family tree, and that costs between £11 and £20 a month, with discounts for buying 6 months at a time. Still, its basic functionality is a very good way of getting a picture of who you are and contacting any confirmed relatives. 23andMe, the best DNA test for understanding health risks. Compared to its rivals, 23andMe might initially look pricey, but you are getting a lot of bang for your buck. As well as a genetic heritage test, you're buying a health screen using genetic information about your susceptibility to illnesses. You'll notice this is one of only 2 on tests that includes autosomal, Y-DNA and mtDNA tests. If you just want the genetic test, you can get that for £79. As tests go, this is probably the most user-friendly. Whether you're interested in genetics or health screening, all information is presented simply, with fun facts along the way. I'm genetically less likely to get mosquito bites than most, for example. It's a pity nobody told the mosquitoes. The test also looks at more serious health risks such as Alzheimer's and Parkinson's and asks you to read a brief tutorial before receiving your results for the BRCA1 and BRCA2 gene, which is associated with breast and ovarian cancer. All in all, it provides an interesting insight into how your genes affect your health. Aside from a slightly raised risk of age-related macular degeneration, declining eyesight, it gave me the all clear. If you're a natural hypochondriac, or not sure you can handle bad news, you might want to avoid 23andMe. After all, a higher risk of something isn't the same as definitely having to deal with it one day. Living DNA, the best value DNA test. Living DNA is more expensive than MyHeritage DNA, but I'd still judge it best value when you add up what you get. Like 23andMe, Living DNA includes autosomal, Y-DNA and mtDNA tests, while Ancestry and MyHeritage only offer the former. Does this make a difference? Well, yes and no. You can see the results based on each individual test, which is handy as it means you can figure out with more accuracy whether your foreign heritage comes from your father or mother. It's especially good for the UK, where most samples have been collected and even breaks down your heritage by regions of Britain. I'm 30.1% from the southeast and only 9.2% from the northwest, for example. All of this data is illustrated using delightful animations that show your family's migration over the years. But there's one major drawback: currently, there's no way to contact your genetic matches. That feature is coming, and you can opt into the beta right now. On a more positive note, you can both export and import your genetic data from here, and, given that this provides autosomal, Y-DNA and mtDNA tests, Living DNA looks like a good value way to obtain all of this data for subsequently uploading to other sites. Family Tree DNA, the best DNA test for detailed results, at a price. Family Tree DNA may appear off-putting at first. Compared to the other sites, it doesn't feel hugely user-friendly, its prices are only in dollars and it offers a dizzying array of tests. This actually makes it the most flexible, albeit at a price that some will find hard to justify. A standard autosomal test starts at $79, around £60, and you can buy various Y-DNA and mtDNA tests separately or as a bundle to supplement your results. The more detailed the Y-DNA test, the more expensive things get, with a 37-marker test coming in at $169, around £129, and a 500-marker test aimed at experts for $649, around £497. If these sound high, it's worth noting that you can import results from some other sites, but obviously then you'll have to satisfy yourself with the limitations of those third-party tests. Family Tree DNA has just over 1 million records in its database, so only a sixth of what Ancestry boasts, but the nature of its tests means that any matches they offer may be of a higher quality than some of the cheaper options are able to provide. As the choice of serious genealogists, this service not only boasts an impressive set of tools, the chromosome browser lets you compare between people to see which DNA strands you share, for example, but the community that uses it is also extremely well informed about what can be read into your DNA should you have any questions. And let's face it, you will. Thanks for watching. You'll find all the links down below the video. Subscribe to the channel.